What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up your Titan Column 12. We packed up everything that comes included with the Titan Column 12 in the included bags here, so I'm going to take out the pieces now to show you what comes inside. So inside the small bag here, we have the column speaker that goes on the top. We also have the stand to connect our speaker to the subwoofer. We also have the power cable to power the Titan Column 12. And then we have the speaker cable to connect the speaker to the sub. And underneath the cover here, we have the subwoofer for the system, which also has the mixer and the inputs and outputs on the back. So now we've got everything we need to assemble the Titan Column 12, so let's dive in. So to start, we'll take the speaker stand and the column speaker here. We're gonna line it up to the screw hole here on the bottom of the column speaker and screw it on just like this. Once the stand is attached to the column speaker, we're then gonna take this end of the stand and line it up to the screw hole on the top of the sub, and again screw it on just like this to secure it. So now that we've got the column speaker attached to the sub, we can then use these knobs here on the stand to adjust it to our desired height. We'll start with the top knob here to adjust the height of the top. So we're gonna loosen it up. We can then grab the column speaker and lift up the top of the stand like this. And then you'll see these holes here that we're gonna use with the safety pin to keep it locked in. And there's a few different options for this depending on the height that you wanna set it at. So once you found the desired height, you're gonna take the safety pin and line it up to the bottommost hole here. And then when we let go, you'll see that the safety pin keeps the stand from falling through, so it's nice and secure, but we're also gonna want to tighten up the top knob to lock it all in place. And we can do the same exact thing with the bottom knob here if we wanted to extend it further, but for today we're gonna leave it just like this. Keep in mind, if you were to extend it even further, you just wanna look out for each of these holes here, because depending on how high you set your top pole, some of the holes here on the bottom part of the pole might not be available to use. If you wanted to use any of the bottom holes available, you would have to take the top of the stand and extend it all the way up. So the next thing we gotta do is connect the column speaker to the subwoofer, and to do that, we're gonna use the included speaker cable here. We're gonna take one end and look for these ridges here and line those up to the port on the column. Push it in just like this, and then you're gonna wanna twist it to the right to lock it in. Then you're gonna take the other end of the cable and line it up to the port on the subwoofer. Do the same exact thing by lining up the ridges. Twist it to the right to lock it in place. And now we have the column speaker connected to the subwoofer. The last thing we're gonna do is plug the power cable into the subwoofer, plug it into our power source or wall outlet. And now if I turn the system on, we're now all set to use the Titan Column 12. So that's all we have to do to assemble it, and later on we'll talk about how to break it down. So now that we have everything all assembled, let's take a look at the back of the subwoofer where we have the mixer and the DSP to function the whole system. So starting at the very top underneath the LED display, we have the mode button to switch the input source for the Titan Column 12. So if you had multiple sources of music plugged in at the same time, you can use this mode button to switch between the different options. We can also use this to engage the TWS or True Wireless Stereo mode if we had two of these speaker systems. Next to that, we have buttons for music playback like the pause and play button. We have the stop button to stop the track and the repeat button to repeat a track. Then we have the previous and next buttons. And then we have a USB or SD card input, so we can play music from a USB thumb drive or an SD card. Underneath that, we have the digital sound processor or the DSP. This allows us to change the overall sound of the system with preset EQs. And then we can use this DSP mode knob to switch between the different options. Those options include normal, DJ, voice, live, or flat. Just to show you how differently each of these presets sound, I'm gonna play some music and switch through each one. All of these options sound different from the other, so feel free to cycle between them to find which one is right for you. Below that, we have the line input section with an RCA line input and an XLR line input. We can use this to connect an outside source like a powered speaker or a mixer with an RCA output or an XLR output. This input is also a combo jack input, which means you can plug in an XLR or a 1/4" cable. You're also going to want to use the line level knob in order for the outside signal to come through the Titan Column 12. And a sidebar, you're also going to use this knob to control your MP3 or Bluetooth device. We also have an XLR mix output if we wanted to connect the Titan Column 12 to the line input of another powered speaker or mixer. Next, we have the mic, guitar, and line input to connect either a microphone, guitar, or a line level instrument like a keyboard. This is also a combo jack, so you can connect any XLR or 1/4" cable. Something to note is that you'll want to use this button here depending on what you have plugged into this input. So if you have your microphone or guitar plugged in, you'll want to press this button in to set it to microphone or guitar mode. And if you're using a line level instrument, you'll want to leave this button pressed out to set it to line mode. And then we have the level knob to set the level for the microphone, guitar, or line level instrument. So now let's talk about how to connect a microphone or instrument to the Titan Column 12. So again, we have the microphone, guitar, or line input that we can use to set up our microphone, guitar, or line level instrument like a keyboard. So first, let's talk about how to set up a microphone like this dynamic microphone I have right here. For this, I'm also going to need an XLR cable. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the female end of my mic cable and plug it into my microphone. Then I'm going to take the other end and plug that into the microphone input on the back of the sub. Now remember, if we're plugging in our microphone, we're going to want to look for this button here above the input and press that in to set it to microphone mode. Next, we're going to want to raise this volume knob to give our microphone some volume. And now if I turn on my microphone, check 1, 2, you should be able to hear my voice coming through the Titan Column 12. We can use similar steps to set up our guitar here to the Titan Column 12, except we're going to need an instrument 1/4" cable. So I'm going to take my cable and plug it into my guitar. Then I'm going to plug the other end into the guitar input. You're also going to want to press the button above the input in for guitar mode and make sure to raise the level knob to give your guitar some volume. Next, I'm going to raise the volume here on my guitar. And now if I play, you should be able to hear the guitar coming out of the Titan Column 12. Now, if you wanted to set up a line level instrument like a keyboard or synth, you're going to follow similar steps, except you'll want to have this button pressed out for line mode. Now, there is a way we can set up our guitar and our microphone at the same time. For that, we're gonna plug our microphone into the mic input and set it to microphone mode. Then we're gonna take the guitar and plug it into the line input above the mic input. Next, make sure to raise the mic volume and the line level volume for your guitar. For this setup, you may need to raise the line level knob all the way up and mix the microphone knob accordingly so that both volumes match. So now I can play my guitar. You'll hear it coming out of the speaker. And if I check my microphone, check 1, 2, you'll be able to hear my voice coming out also, making this a great live performance setup. You can also follow these same exact steps to set up your keyboard instead of your guitar, along with your microphone. Now, because the Titan Column 12 has a microphone input and Bluetooth compatibility, it makes for a great karaoke setup. To show you how to do that, let's first go over how to set up our microphone. So I'm gonna need a dynamic microphone like this one here and an XLR cable. I'm gonna take the female end and plug it into my microphone. Then I'm gonna plug the other end into the microphone input on the back of the sub. Remember, when you have your microphone plugged into this input, that you want to have the button that's above the input pressed in for microphone mode. Next, you'll want to raise the microphone level knob so we can hear it coming out of the speaker. And now if I turn on my microphone, check 1, 2, you should be able to hear my voice coming through the speaker. So now that we've got our mic all set up, I'm gonna turn it off and set it aside so we can set up our Bluetooth device. So whether you wanna set up your smartphone or a tablet like this one here, you're gonna follow these same exact steps. First off, make sure that your speaker is set to Bluetooth mode by using the mode button here. It'll read Bluetooth unconnected if it's looking for a device to pair to. So then we can go into the Bluetooth settings on our tablet here, turn the Bluetooth on, and search for the device that reads Titan Column 12 and click on it to pair. And then it will read connected once the tablet is paired to the speaker. Also, just make sure to raise the MP3 volume knob on the back of the sub so we can hear music from the tablet coming out of the speaker system. From here, we can go into the YouTube app, search for any karaoke version of a song, have the lyrics right here on our screen, while the music and our voice is coming through the speaker system. You'll want to make sure to raise the volume almost all the way on your tablet or smartphone as well. Remember, you can also change the DSP if you want to change the overall sound of your speaker system. You can dance, you can jive, having the time of your life. Ooh, see that girl, watch that scene, digging the dancing queen. Ow! So the cool thing is, if you had two Titan Column 12s, you can link them together through TWS or True Wireless Stereo connection so that they can both be playing music at the same time. So to link them up through TWS, it's really simple. First, you want to make sure that they're both set to Bluetooth mode by using the mode button. Make sure that a previous device is not connected to Bluetooth, so that both read Bluetooth unconnected on the LED displays. Now we have to choose which one we want to use as a main speaker, so I'm gonna go with this one right here. I'm gonna use the mode button again, except I'm gonna hold it down to activate the TWS mode. So we're gonna hold it down just like this. You'll then see TWS light up on your main speaker, and on the other speaker, it's going to read Bluetooth TWS connected. So on the display for the main speaker, it's gonna read unconnected, and this just means that it's looking for a Bluetooth device to connect to so that you can play music out of both systems at the same time. So I'm gonna use my smartphone to connect to the main speaker, and to do that, I'm gonna make sure that the Bluetooth is on, then I'm gonna go into the Bluetooth settings and search for the device that reads Titan Column 12, then I'm gonna click on it to pair, and then it's gonna read connected on my smartphone and on the display for the main speaker, letting us know we're all good to go. If you're not hearing anything at first, make sure that the MP3 volume knob on both speakers are raised up and that you've set the volume almost all the way on your phone or tablet. So let's go ahead and hear how both systems sound together. Oh wow, that's crazy, the two of them. Wow. Oh man, that's crazy. Now, another way we can set up these two systems is by using the mix out of one of our speakers and connecting it to the line input on the next speaker. So to do that, all you'll have to do is take an XLR cable, plug the female end into the mix out of the main speaker, then plug the other end into the line input on the back of your second speaker. So to get the signal from your first speaker to the second speaker, all you're gonna wanna do is raise the line level knob on the back of the second speaker and make sure to pair or connect whichever music source you want to your main speaker. This would also work if you wanted to connect your Titan Column 12 to another powered speaker or mixer through the line input of that. So the last setup I wanted to show you guys is how to set up a mixer to your Titan Column 12s for a live sound setup. For this, you can use any passive mixer like a Rockmix 10FX like we have here, and you're gonna need two XLR cables to connect the mixer to your speaker systems. You can also use two 1/4-inch cables if your main outputs have 1/4-inch output. So we're gonna take our two XLR cables and plug the female ends into the main mix output on the mixer. Then we're gonna take the male ends and plug them into the line inputs on the back of each subwoofer. Remember, these are combo jack inputs, which is why you can use both XLR or 1/4-inch cables. The last thing we'll wanna do is raise the line level knob on both systems so that this way anything coming from the mixer will come out of both speaker systems. So to test our setup, I'm gonna connect a microphone into channel 1 here on our mixer. Since I have my mic plugged into channel 1, I'm gonna raise the gain and the level knob for channel 1. And now I'm gonna raise the main mix knob so everything coming through the mixer will come out of both speaker systems. And now if I turn on my microphone, check 1, 2, you should be able to hear my voice letting us know that everything coming out of our mixer is coming through the speaker systems. So this is a cool setup because you can use your mixer to plug in your microphones and or instruments, and you can also use the features of your mixer like any built-in effects, the line inputs and outputs of your mixer, and much more to have as big of a setup as you want. So once we're all done with the Titan Column 12, we can go ahead and break it down. We'll start by shutting it off and unplugging the power cable. Next, we'll disconnect the speaker cable with one end at a time. So starting with the top here, we're gonna pull on this silver piece here and then twist it to the left and then pull out just like that. Then we'll do the same exact thing with the other end of the cable. So pull down on the silver piece, twist it, and then pull it out. Next, we can break down the column speaker and the speaker pole here. So I'm actually gonna disconnect the speaker pole first by just twisting it from the base, and I'm gonna twist it to the left to make it loose. Once it's loosened all the way, we're just gonna pull up like that. Now to disconnect the pole from the column, we're just gonna loosen it to the left and keep going until we can lift the pole just like that. Next, we're gonna make sure to retract the pole as much as possible. So to do that, I'm just gonna loosen up the top knob here and take the top of the pole and bring it all the way down like this, and then tighten the knob back up to lock it in place. And remember, if you use the bottom part of the pole to extend it further, you're gonna wanna do the same exact thing, but with the second knob. So now we can take all of our smaller items and place it inside of the small bag here. So you'll notice that there's a compartment solely for the column speaker, and then there's a smaller compartment that we can use to store the pole and our cables. So we'll take the column speaker and place it on its side, just like this. Now we can place the pole inside of the smaller compartment, and you'll notice this smaller compartment has these Velcro straps, which will keep the pole nice and secure inside. So we can place the pole down on top of these straps and use them to secure the pole. And this leaves us plenty of room to place our cables right on top. Then we can close up the bag. And what's nice about this bag is that there's 2 ways that we can carry it. So you have these smaller straps here that you can bind together with this Velcro, or you can use the long strap here and put it over your shoulder, and you can even adjust the length of it for a more comfortable fit. And lastly, to pack up the sub, all you're gonna do is take the cover for the sub here and line up the holes for the handles to each side like this. And like I said, you should have access to these handles here so you can pick it up and move it around. And now you're all set to bring your Titan Column 12 to your next gig or event. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your Titan Column 12. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.